It's happened. That's why the women all over Africa and all over the world have done this for so long. They get their skirts and they go and they dance and they plant or they weed, whatever they harvest. It's all connected. They make dances, fun out of all those things. We've lost that. We've gone to these twists. That's cute. But, I mean, what about things doing harvest songs, harvest dances? You're connected. It's really about the connection once again.
How much music do they like? Like, about the same as a human? Like, if I have reggae on all day, like, I'm like going, but, you know.
No, see, plants like, look at, they work the most early in the morning and late in the day, but early in the morning especially. And when the birds and the crickets and those kind of things are making their sounds the loudest, that's when, when the light's really nice, early morning or late in the day, that's when you can hear the music the best. They respond the most. They respond any time of the day, but in the middle of the day it gets hot. And they want to chill out.
So use a human
just like us.
That's when you play the meditation
music. There's time to work,
music.
and there's time to play, and there's time to pray.
Yeah, is that where Sonic Bloom came from?
Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah, because you can get, I guess you can get a CD now. It used to be a cassette tape that you would play for your plants in the morning and the evening, and their stomatas would open. Oh. So when you're feeding your plants, they receive much more of the fertilizer at that time. But were you involved in that?
Yeah, I did a lot of research with Sonic Boom. I'll explain that principle. It's like he figured out, he traveled around the world, he worked with farmers, real nice man, Dan Carson, originator. He stayed in the secret life of plants and secrets out too. But then we did all this research, especially I was in New Mexico working with Indian crops, looking at ancient seeds, figuring out what, and he would use that 8.0 kilohertz cycle, that's what it is, that like a cricket. And then they have a background. They found the Indian music for sure was the best one, and you have that going together. You do classical, you do different styles. You have tapes, but then you can have that thing hook that kind of little machine. It's not about this big. You can put it on a battery of your car. It's that simple. Or you can do it. He has ones for big, like center pivots, which I don't agree with. But he's got for reducing chemicals even. Usage down to nothing and do it all again. But his main spray was using seaweeds.
Gabriel, do you know about radionics?
Yeah, sure.
You want to talk about that for a minute?
Man, there we go.
Just real quick.
What was that? What is it?
Radionics.
What's that?
To explain in a nutshell, 2 minutes.
2 minutes on
2 minute flip.
Well, what you can do is give them a snippet, and then they can research further.
More depth, we can go into more depth.
Yeah.
But yes, radionics, I'll explain it in 2 minutes, okay, the best I can. The principles, okay. You take a machine. I mean, you get down to a little computer nowadays. You don't need much. You can always do it with intent. If you're really intuitive. Yeah, you can, for sure. I've learned how to do it. You have to. Just make these your antennas. Your hair is good for that. So anyway, not all kidding aside, I lost a minute on that deal.
Okay, radionics.
Yeah, radionics. You put them in a well. You have 2 wells usually. Usually it's 2 wells. The wells where you put your insect problem, your disease. And the other one, what benefits it, what is a beneficial insect that kills that bug, or a chemical that kills that bug, or that kind of thing, or fertilizer. You can broadcast for your whole farm that way. But it's always good to have compost. So no matter what you do, you have to make compost.
What do you put it in?
We're talking
okay, so I'll give a quick explanation. So imagine you have, it's a frequency generator, and let's say you have a pest problem. What you can do is you put the frequency via a picture or via a sample of what the solution to that pest would be. If there's a beneficial insect or a predator insect, you can put that, it spreads the wave, the energetic frequency of whatever the solution to that problem is, and that helps solve the problem. So you're working basically with frequencies to help solve challenges or to add fertility or other things too. Is that a good way of explaining it?
That's a way to do it.
So you can even put, it's the idea, for example, of prayer works according to radionics. You can do it with intent. It's basically about resonance.
You take a picture and you put it, well, you can broadcast it or people take a picture. And you can do it 1,000 or halfway around the world, no problem. It's really pretty cool that way.
Can I ask a kind of a general question about the music and the radionics? Do you guys think that the belief of it is as important as the actual practice of it.
More so.
More so.
Well, that's what
Not
guides
so?
the intent, yeah.
That's what guys do.
So
That's what I'm saying.
you don't just put on a CD for your plants. Is what I'm trying to clarify.
Well, I think that will have an effect, but with radionics, especially if you're going to do it yourself, you have to fully believe and set your intention.
Right.
You have to have an understanding of the complexity of the system you've created.
Yeah.
Then you can get more intuitive again. You gotta understand it scientifically enough, and then you can get intuitive. You don't even need it. That's what I'm trying to say. You can pray whatever you need.
Right.
But you start by understanding, and that's something that takes work. And you can't take my shortcuts on that. You can pray, but you got to really study it for real.
Okay, we've got about 5 more minutes.
5 more minutes.
I have a
Okay.
question. What can you explain what your idea of a utopian?
Wait a minute. We're talking about seed, and we're talking about.
But that was one of the
organic
questions that Penny
utopia.
brought up.
Well, seeing everybody eat good is always a nice thing.
Maybe focus it in on what would be your ideal scene for agriculture, because I know you've thought about this a lot. You're demonstrating a lot of this here. Like, what would be, even if beyond what you've created here, like what would be the juiciest farm that you could ever imagine being in, or creating, or seeing, or experiencing?
Okay. Boy, juicy farms.
Yeah, juicy farm.
Let's have a juice farm, all right. We're grow lots of carrots. Are we characters or what? Okay, so anyway, we got 4 minutes now.
Alright, go this way.
Okay, so I just like to see. The deal was I thought, but now we have many of these. We need to create different versions of different places. We get the same similar concepts. And this was just a satellite, one of those seeds, amongst like a lot of stuff. You know, there's many thousands of centers. I mean, and Penny's got another great one going, you know, and Bruce's got another thing going, and Andrew's got another. We're all connected. We like to see, you can hear me and Andrew, all farmers growing good food and stay more local and less export. And we less gas because we're going to get soon to be on gas. So what you do, buy designs. Now buy designs is a lot of work, a lot of planning. Any way you look at it, we're going to have to start to get our hands involved. Because we're able to eat good, because it's a lot of hands to make good food. And a lot of it is annual crops. And good or bad. You know, we have perennial fruit trees which are delicious. But then we have the annuals of what makes, gives you the energy to keep going. So see, part of utopia is learning how to, that's what I'm trying to combine it, where you make a culture and you grow food, you know, but you make music, you do look at stars, you know, you look at all that stuff. You combine the efforts. It's very important. You make it a celebration. That's how cultures are created. Based on that they have, you have good, and you make the trees look like, you know, it's in a landscape, you know, with it looks like a painting almost, and when you got another flowering cycle. But it's all that, and watch it grow up. But make sure that you start to study the food needs.
Can you have seeds here so we can bring the seeds?
Okay.
Nice, thanks, Gabriel.
Thanks.
For that.
Okay, I'm going.
I think we need to make farming